Hello, Harmon Wiltz, DEKALB Technical Agronomist. I want to spend some time with you here talking about some new DEKALB hybrids, but some resources first of all. The seed guide really is the Bible of all the different ratings that we have. As you open up the seed guide, it'll give you most all the ratings that we do have on the hybrids, and so that'd be a resource. Another resource that we supplement then is what we call our stoplight chart, by where you can see the darker color are highly recommended for the situation. Lighter colored less, and then over here gives you some populations that you can kind of take a look at. So another resource there. We've added as well what we call the one pager to give you some situations like manured, irrigated, things like that you have. And then the last thing, some resources here, second to last I should say, is our Word document talking about its key strengths and the bullet points. So if you need those, please let us know, we can get that. And then finally the last resource I think is the what we call the product profile sheet, and this can be obtained on Ag Anytime. So if you go to www.aganytime.com, click on DEKALB, you can search for your favorite products and it'll crank out that list. So with those resources in mind, let's move forward. I want to talk a little bit about the hybrids. One of the things I think that's really key to the DEKALB lineup is the strength of the depth of the portfolio. Just an example here that I kind of put together that, hey, here's some hybrids that really should be on every farm. If you want some earlier hybrids, here's some to add in. If you like some later ones, here's some to add in as well. And then here's some other products to kind of sprinkle in. You'll notice the yellow there are the new products, and I'm going to spend time talking about the first three. That would be DKC 4045 Rib Brand Blend, DKC 4375 Rib Brand Blend, 4944 Rib Brand Blend. I'll spend some time talking about those three as we move forward in the portfolio. One other resource I wanted to make sure you're aware of is the www.genuity.com. As you have some choices to take a look at. Do I want a Smart Stack or do I want a Double Pro? And wanted to just kind of highlight and make sure that on that site will give you a lot of good information. But for example, the Smart Stack is really the Cadillac for corn rootworm, European corn borer, Western corn borer, earworm, fall armyworm. And taking a look at that, it's a refuge in the bag, Roundup Ready to Yield 2 technology that we can spray Roundup or Liberty over the top. So just another good resource to go forward. Let's spend some time with three key new hybrids as we look forward. DKC 4045 Rib Brand Blend Hybrid. Some things I really like about this hybrid. It was new last year. Excellent stay green. Later in the season in the plots, as we walk plots, we could see that in this 90-day maturity, it was one of the most greenest, the most lush corns in that plot. It was excellent. Really, I would suggest it performs best on our good to heavier, high-performing soil types to take advantage of that added yield to go along with it. It's got a real nice, big, girthy ear, too, to give you some good ear flex. So we can raise the populations and take advantage of the top yield, or in some of those other parts of the field, as we need to lower the population if we're doing some variable rating, it has that good ear flex to help you out there as well. I feel really good about the roots. They were quite good as we move forward. It is an improvement in Gosses wilt from what we've had in that maturity over 4078 and 4199. One of the things to manage, it's just a Double Pro only, so make sure that we kind of keep that in mind, that we're getting Double Pro protection only. Next hybrid I want to touch on is really the heart of this maturity for DEKALB. DKC 4199 has been Mr. Consistency. Fits a wide range of soil types. You can see it's got excellent emergent seedling growth. Last year in the wind, we had held up extremely good from a root and stalk standpoint. Some of the key things I like about it that are important, I think, is the green snap piece, the dry down, and improved drought score. It does have a very good ear flex to go along with it. So we can move it some lower populations where needed to be into lighter soil types. But we can also crank out some big yield too. And I think the Gosses wilt is a 5. From my perspective, what that means is it's a Double Pro. So in many cases, corn and following beans, we really don't need to worry too much about the Gosses wilt. But if you had some serious Gosses wilt problems, then we can move on to a hybrid that would have a 4 in it. And it is a Double Pro version only. But what I'd say, key points: Mr. Consistency, high yield, excellent roots and stalks. I think this is one you can kind of plant anywhere and be very pleased with as you move forward in the lineup. The other brand new one from last year we're real pleased with is DKC 4375 Rib Brand Blend. It's our first early disease shield. So what that means, it's got very good agronomics from a disease perspective. What I really liked about it last year in plots is its standability of a 2 for stalks, 3 for roots. It stand really quite well. An excellent green snap tolerance as well. I think this is made for kind of what I'd call the tougher acre too, with a really good drought tolerance and dry down to go with it. This is one of our first early hybrids. It's very good with Gosses wilt. So we've got a 4 is excellent, as well as the stalks on it from a disease perspective. Anthracnose, a 3 is excellent as well. Comes out of the ground good emergent seedling growth. It's got a semi-ear flex on it, so this is one that would like a little higher plant populations as we kind of go forward. In the picture there, you can see a really deep green, lush plant, good Gosses wilt compared to maybe one with a little less Gosses wilt going forward. So very steady. And the other thing I do like about this is kind of that medium plant height. So medium plant height. So if you're going to plant corn on corn, plant this first, followed by corn on corn. To really help manage some of that residue as we go forward. The last one I want to talk about in this maturity is our DKC 4944 Rib Brand Blend Hybrid. Yield, Mr. Consistency. We really brought this out to give us additional yield over 4972, DKC 5008, and even over DKC 4754. And it has proven that over the last 2 years. So in plots last year, some of the things I really liked about it is had good emergence, good seedling growth. Maybe one notch behind 4972, but 4972 is like the bar, exceptionally good. So I'm going to call it planted early, good early season agronomics to go with it. Nice improvement over Gosses wilt over DKC 4972, almost a full notch better drought tolerance as well. It's got a 3, very good anthracnose stalk rot, and Physoderma score is really good as well. A little more husk cover, which I think is good versus a 4972, especially if you're in areas where you have next to CRP, big groves or birds and so forth. They're there and have some issues from that perspective. And more ear flex than we have with 4972. So from a soils perspective, I don't hold this one back. We can plant it on light or heavy soils. Very high top end yield over what we've had in the past. So nice improvement there from that agronomics. And then of course, a good full notch better on Gosses wilt than what we've had in that maturity. So with that, I think one of the keys is really think about the package of hybrids that you have out there, position them well, and thank you and have a great day.